Welcome to the Townsville Folk Festival 2025 Safety Induction. Keeping you safe and keeping us all safe. The festival is a family event. All patrons, artists and volunteers have the right to feel safe. We want to maintain a safe festival community environment by communicating openly with no violence. We value openness and honesty, and we expect people to act with integrity. We'd like people to behave with respect for each other and engage with others with tolerance. And we'd like to work to create a sustainable and eco-friendly festival site. Our festival is held at Footshill Station, just near Reed River. And this is the site layout for the entire thing for 2025. When you arrive, depending on when you arrive, if you arrive during the festival, you'll go to the ticketing gate to get your wristband. If you arrive beforehand, you may be directed off at traffic assistance. Ask for directions to go to the Oasis, where you will check in and talk to your supervisor or be indicated where to find your supervisor. The Oasis is a control centre for the festival management. It's where the cooking is done for the artists. Your camping, if you're volunteer camping and not camping with family and friends in the general ticket holders, would be around here, not far from the Oasis. The festival village itself is where the artists perform. The vendor stalls are there, the food, the coffee, etc., all located around here. We have 4 primary principles to keep things safe at the festival. All workers, volunteers of the festival must complete this, which you are doing by watching this. High risk work such as scaffolding, rigging, electrical work needs to be done by licensed only workers. If you think a task is unsafe, ask a supervisor or fellow volunteers to help redesign it and make it safe. Don't walk past any safety issues or concerns. If you see anything at all that you think might be unsafe, report it to your supervisor. We have 4 thoughts about communication. Good communication is the key to running a successful event. The festival brings together a large and diverse range of people in a variety of roles. There will be some situations that may be stressful, possibly resulting in unwanted interpersonal conflict, which we'd like to minimise. The festival management reserves the right to remove abusive or hazardous persons from the site. Drugs and alcohol. Volunteers, workers and artists under the influence of drugs or alcohol while working during performances can be injured or present hazards to others. It is the volunteers, workers and artists' responsibility to limit or refrain from alcohol or other drugs usage for the safety of themselves and others while undertaking their allocated roles. Fire and medical emergencies. The on-site fire briefing will make volunteers familiar with fire safety and where the muster areas are for the site. Any medical emergencies should be referred immediately to site supervisors or any trained medical and first aid officers. There will be a first aid station on site. You'll be shown that. Protection from excessive noise. Prolonged exposure to noise levels of 85 decibels at the human ear significantly can damage hearing. That could be standing very close to speakers at a festival. Protections required if you're exposed to prolonged noise louder than a lawnmower or a chainsaw, for example. If you're experiencing any warning signs of hearing loss, discuss ways to reduce the exposure with your supervisor immediately. Personal protective equipment, PPE. What you should bring. You should bring enclosed footwear, a wide-brimmed hat, sunscreen, sun protective clothing and sunglasses. What will be provided at the festival? Safety glasses, generic earplugs if necessary, gloves if necessary, and high-vis vests. There's 8 commandments of lifting. I'll leave this for you to study quickly, but we have a lot of things that must be lifted. We've got some simple things to follow here. Plan your lift, ask people for help if it looks too heavy or you're concerned about it, get a firm footing, bend your knees, tighten your stomach muscles, lift with your legs, not with your back, and keep the load close to you and keep your back upright. Working at heights. Never climb or work on a ladder alone. Make sure there's someone spotting for you. That's very important. When required, platform ladders will be used by festival workers and volunteers. Only competent workers are permitted to use a regular ladder. If you think something's unsafe, ask others to help redesign the task and make it safe. You'll notice a theme here. Slips, trips and falls. We'd like you to help prevent slips, trips and falls by eliminating hazards. These may include electrical cables across pathways, uneven ground, loose surfaces, slippery conditions. Venue flooring, there'll be a lot of carpet around, ramps, poor placement or design of barriers, poor lighting, climbing for vantage points can be dangerous, inappropriate footwear can be dangerous, inadequate queuing systems can be dangerous, and poor edge protection where we've got concrete and brick can also be dangerous. The lighting, ensure tracks, pathways, steps and other access ways are suitably lit, particularly for evening egress. We try and do this to the best of our ability. Cease work in areas where lighting levels are inadequate. If you've been asked to work in the evening, it's starting to lose light, you need to get temporary lighting such as day makers to come in the area, or cease working. Identify and report concerns about poor lighting to your supervisor. Electrical safety. This is very simple. Work on electrical supply must only be carried out by licensed electrical tradespeople. Electrical safety. Take these steps to avoid any electrical problems. So monitor the use of electrical leads and power supplies. All of the power at the site will be through generators. Make sure that venues have fire extinguishers next to sound equipment particularly. Avoid overloading any circuits. Avoid use of double adapters. These aren't highly undesirable. Inspect appliances are in safe working order if you've been asked to use appliances. Disconnect and report any faulty appliances immediately to your supervisor. Vehicle safety. Ensure minimal movement of any vehicles after dark, and these vehicles are only allowed to be moved after dark with the approval of the festival coordinator. Waste management. Help the festival achieve its policy of zero waste and no single-use plastics by doing this. Bring your own usable water bottle and mugs, plates, cutlery. Reduce the use of single-use items, so preferably don't bring any single-use plastic items, and leave any packaging at home wherever possible. Frequently asked questions. Where do volunteers camp? We outlined this earlier on in this presentation. Unless you're with family groups, volunteers will be camping on the hill near the oasis in the crew area. When can volunteers arrive? If you're on the setup, then you can arrive the day before your roster starts. Anybody else, 10 a.m. Thursday onwards is adequate. Do I bring my own food and drinks? Yes, but if you're part of the setup crew prior to Thursday or Monday after the festival, we will provide meals on those days for those people. Throughout the festival, food trucks will be on site. Definitely any drinks, alcohol you need to bring yourself. Can I get tickets? There is a ticket for each person who volunteers for, I think it's 8 hours this year. Last year it was 12 hours, I've left that in there. Other tickets can be booked through the festival website. Is there somewhere for volunteers to chill out? Yes, near the oasis there'll be a volunteer area which has got tea and coffee available, but you'll need to bring your own cup. Is there a party for the volunteers? Yes, Sunday night at the oasis after everything's been closed down. There's a barbecue, soft drinks, water will be available there. What if I get sick? Please contact your team leader. If you can't reach them, contact the on-site festival coordinator, Corrie, and her number is here. You'll be given that from many other different places as well. Can I drink alcohol? Only when you're off duty. You cannot be under the influence of alcohol or other substances during your rostered shift. And we had a warning about that. People can be ejected from the site. So thank you for volunteering. Volunteering is very important to getting this festival running, and have a great festival. We're really looking forward to seeing you at the Folk Festival this year.